So we started input yesterday, right? So we created a component which was meant to display our card. So I think we added this card, but we were not able to run it. Let's try it now. ng4. So see, now my ULLI is coming into the card, and same like it over here also. See this design, it is card, right? Now, why do we create reusable component first? So that we can have control over the UI. If I change it one time, it should reflect it everywhere, right? Just like we added a card over here. But let's say your client says, ki above the card, I need one more title also. So what I can do, card header I can add, right? Here I can showcase some title. Now title also should come from my parent component. What's this ULLI for, right? Means just like array list we are getting what data we have to show into the ULLI that we are getting from the parent. Just like that, title also should come from the parent. So here we need to again create one more input. Input round bracket title data type will be string. By default, I'm assigning empty. And this title, I will be printing it over here. Okay. Now, wherever I'm using this component, there I can pass two inputs now. See, title coming, single quote. This is for state list. Just like that in ng4 we were showing. Let me come like this. Here also second parameter, city list. Okay. Save, save. See, state list is coming. If I go to ng4, city list is coming. So now your component is actually reusable. You can control everything from your reusable component. This title and everything. Understood? So in to a one component, you can have multiple inputs also like this. And this is how you send it. Clear everyone? Okay. So this is your reusable component. Okay. From parent to child, if you want to send the data, you create input. Okay. Now vice versa means from child, if you want to send data to the parent, from child means from this component, you want to send the data to the life cycle, or from this component, you want to send the data to the ng4 component. There we have to use output.
Output.
Okay. So along with the help of event, we pass the data back to the parent component. Okay. Now the best example for output is like our normal button. Okay. Let's create new terminal over here. Ng generate component my button. So I'm creating my own reusable button. There are so many projects where you will find reusable text box also, reusable button also. Why? Because they need to maintain a common UI across the application. Because if they didn't create the reusable button, anyone can take a button as per their need. Someone will use blue button, someone will use green button, right? But let's say overall the project you need certain buttons only to be used. So there they create a reusable button and restrict like primary or secondary button. That's two button max you can have. Or let's say danger, one more for the delete, right? So we want to control our UI, how our UI is going to look. So for text box, button, label, for everything they create the reusable component. So that developer will use only those, and the UI, whatever UI they have created over there, that will be only used. Okay. Now, so we have created a button component. Now here I will have a button. Now tell me how many, what data we might need to pass it over here to make this button component reusable. How many input we will be needing? What data you will be needing from the parent component?
The class like primary.
Class?
And click. Yeah.
No, that is event. Now I'm asking data. What data you will be needing? Input. How many inputs you will be needing over in the button component?
If it's success or failure, like
Yeah, that will be class, right? What will be the color of class?
right.
Again, that's just the class you will need.
Submit or like
Yeah,
Reusable
submit
and
or like type
type.
button
Yeah.
button or submit, that is also. But one more obvious thing is missing. What you will need? Title. What you will display over here? Because this button is in your reusable component. So this you are going to render it somewhere. So what the title of the button? That should come from your parent component, na? Or no?
Yes.
Right?
yes,
So in button component, first input will be @ input btn title, data type string. I'm assigning it with empty value. Okay, this is your title. Now this button title, you will be printing it over here. Okay, for now. And second will be, let's say, class name. So @btn input btn class name colon data type string is equal to empty. Now when we talk about bootstrap button, what's the static class we should add? In bootstrap we have some static class, right? What's the button?
B
btn.
BTN.
This is going to be
BTN
static,
success.
right?
Yes.
After that your dynamic classes will be there. So if you want to add a dynamic class, we will use ng class. Or instead of ng class, directly we can do the property binding also, right, to import that ng class. So this is your static, then interpolation. Sorry, directly variable also we can use with plus sign. Your button class name, this variable. Understood? Instead of going with ng class and importing that, you can do the property binding also. Class, this is one text plus whatever the value you get in other text, concatenation you are doing. Okay. Now over here, this was a button. So instead of this, now app hyphen my button. Once I click, import will be automatically added. Okay. Now we have two input. Button title. Let's say button title is save user. Then we have title name also, class name also. Single quote btn hyphen primary. Okay. So in lifecycle component, I'm passing button title as save user and class name as button primary. Okay. Now same thing.
Chetan, give one space after the BTN in the static.
Where?
BTN component, button component.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, no space. Because
No,
class
it
btn is
will
a one
be,
class.
it will concat, right? BTN without space, it will
Okay,
add
okay.
BTN,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Here we need space. Right, correct. I thought this you are talking. Okay. So now over here we will create app hyphen my button square bracket button title is equal to, let's say, show alert. Second button class name is equal to btn success. Okay. So see, I have created a reusable component for button. In first, but I have two input over there. First is getting the title of the button and getting the class. And this I'm using it in HTML like this. Okay. From ng for component, I'm passing the button text as show alert and class as success. And from ng's lifecycle, I'm passing save user and primary. Okay. Now if you see, ng for show alert is coming. And if I go to ng cycle, see save user is coming. Okay. So whatever the data we are passing, our button is coming like that with the required text and the required class. Clear? This is from parent, we are sending data to the child. Okay. But let's say this is the button. So obviously we are going to need once on click of this button, let's say in this parent component, I need to write some event on this button click, but this button is coming from our child component, right? So here we have to inform parent component that button got clicked. And in response to that click event, you need to do something in your parent component, right? So for that, in your reusable component, now here you will create output. So at the rate output round bracket on btn click is equal to new event emitter. Okay. Currently we are not sending any data back, but let's add a data type. Okay. So this is your output. At the rate output on button click is equal to what you are storing over here, event, new event emitter. Understood? This is how you create a output. At the rate output, your output name is equal to new event emitter and data type, whatever you are sending. Currently, we are not going to send some data, but we can send also. Okay. So now in our reusable component, we have this button. So normally click event, we will need it over here. Click button clicked. Now this function we have to create it over here in button component only. Currently we are in the reusable component only. Okay. Here this dot on button click dot emit. Okay. So see what I have done. First I have created an output. Then from my button click, from my reusable component only, normal button click event, what do we have? Click event I have written. On click of this button, I'm calling this function. And from this function, I'm emitting this event. It's like triggering this event. Consider this is an event and you are triggering this on click of the button event from your reusable component. Okay. Now, this was the input and this is the output. So output, how do we write a event? How do we write event?
Event binding, like bracket.
Round bracket, right? See, if I give the round bracket over here, currently we just have one event. So see, only one it is coming. Getting it? On round bracket. Same thing over here, na? Here it is by default event. This is our custom event which we have created. On button click is equal to now. If this button got click, I'm calling this function show alert over here. Let's add a debugger over here also. See now how your execution flows. Okay, means when this button click event got triggered, I'm calling this function from my parent. Okay, so see now. On click of this button, first function, what will be the first function it will execute? Reusable component one. See, this button is in my reusable component, na? So on click of it, I'm calling that function. So see, in my button component, this function got triggered. From here, we are emitting the event, output event. Means I'm triggering this event. So once this output get triggered, in HTML, we have added show alert button. So see, now it goes to the life cycle and this function got triggered, parent function. Means if I am emitting the output from child component, in response to that, parent component function is getting executed. Understood? Clear all? See, I have a button in my reusable component. Okay. A normal click event is over here. This function I'm going to trigger over here. And from this function, I'm emitting this output. It's like triggering the event. This is nothing but event. Okay. I'm triggering the event by the use of emit function. This dot my output name dot emit. Okay. Now in your parent component, you have a callback. Means once this event trigger, you can catch a call of that callback. You can write a code on that. If this button, if this event got triggered, you want to call this function. So first On click of button, this function will trigger. From this function, we are emitting this. If we emit, in response, once this output emit, this function will trigger. ओके मैं हिंदी में बताता हूँ जिनको समझा नहीं होगा. सिंपल देखो, तुम्हारा बटन है रियूजेबल कंपोनेंट में, राइट? अगर तुम्हारा ये रियूजेबल कंपोनेंट की बटन क्लिक हुई तो तुम क्या कर रहे हो? ये आउटपुट एमिट कर रहे हो. जैसे ही आउटपुट ट्रिगर होगा, यहाँ पे तुमने अगर कैच करके रखा है तो ये वाला फंक्शन ट्रिगर हो जाएगा. ये आउटपुट ट्रिगर हुआ कि ये फंक्शन कॉल होगा. जस्ट लाइक क्लिक इवेंट में होता था, क्लिक हुआ कि ये फंक्शन कॉल होता था. जैसे ही तुम्हारे रियूजेबल कंपोनेंट में ये बटन आउटपुट एमिट हुआ कि ये फंक्शन कॉल होगा. सिंपल.
On
ओके
button click is an event here.
या ये दिस इज इवेंट ना ऑफ दिस कंपोनेंट.
Yeah.
But when we write it, here we write like this output. Okay. See, again, like yesterday also I said, input output is little bit tricky. When I started in Angular, that was my Angular 6 project. In the first project, I didn't use input and output also because I was not aware, but still I was able to complete the project. And I was leading that project also because there was no one who knows the Angular. That's why I was leading. So at that time, I didn't know the input and output also because we were so busy, so many work was there. There was no time to do the R&D. We didn't create any reusable component. Okay. But now it is very normal. Everyone should understand this. So it will take time to understand, but so many example we have to create. Then you will get an idea like what is input, what is output, when do we have to use which. Okay. So give it some time. Those who are finding it difficult to understand in the first go. Okay. It will take time to process everything, how it is happening. Specifically, output is very confusing. Okay. Now this output we have created like this button component. I'm using it over here also. So here also I can do the same thing. See, equal to. Do we have any function over here? ng4. No, let's create one function. Show alert. Okay. Now this function I will call in response to this trigger event. Okay. Now if I click on show alert, my first reusable component reusable component click event got called, and from here I am emitting the output. Once I continue, see, I got the output, means from my ng4 component this function will get triggered. See one more time. On click of it, first my reusable component event got triggered. Here I'm emitting the output. Then in response to this function is getting triggered. Understood?
यस सर. सर इसमें इनपुट टाइप टेक्स्ट के लिए भी ये वर्क करता है क्या?
इनपुट में आप कुछ भी भेज सकते हो. एनीथिंग यू कैन सेंड.
नहीं
टेक्स्ट.
नहीं, जो सेरेबल कंपोनेंट जो हमने बटन बनाया है उसकी जगह पे अगर हम टेक्स्ट बॉक्स यूज करें तो यूआई में सर, यूआई
Text. Anything. What I said now, you can create a reusable button, reusable text box, label, drop down, and everything you can create reusable.
नहीं, डेटा सेंड करने के लिए पेरेंट चाइल्ड टू पेरेंट कंपोनेंट
डेटा सेंड करने के लिए
या
हाँ, तो
आउटपुट के लिए ऑन
या
क्लिक
यहाँ से वैल्यू भी भेज सकते हैं. देखो अभी see what I said, output is not just to emit the event. We can send the data along with. So while emitting, you can pass some data. See him I am passing Chetan. Okay. Now or let's pass the current time. So constant date. How do you get the current time?
Get hours, two locals in something.
No. We got the date over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Date.
We got the complete date. In this date only, we will get the time also. Yes or no?
Yes.
Current date dot get time. We have directly method.
Acha, get hard.
Okay.
Okay.
What it is saying? Okay, here we say, but no, get time it is returning number. Why it is returning number? Get time,
Maybe we have to
get UTC
tell
time.
the format.
No, but time is in, okay. Let's convert to string, dot to string, right? Because we have said the data type of emit is string. So get time is returning integer type of data, see number. So we have converted it to the string. Okay. Now while emitting the output, I am sending some data also. Now if I have to cache this data over here, when I have in parent component where I'm writing this event, here I have to write dollar event. Every time dollar event only. Okay. Now over here we need to have a parameter. Time data type string. And whatever the data I will alert it. Okay. So see now what happens. Now while emitting the data, while emitting the output, I'm passing some data along with it. If you want to cache that data in the HTML, first you need to write the dollar event, and this function should have a parameter because this function is having while executing this function, I'm passing some parameters. So we need to cache that also over here. See now in lifecycle event, if I click on this button, okay. So see, let's try to hover on it. What do we get it over here? Okay, something like this. Again, we need to format it. Okay, something number we are getting. Now, while emitting this output, I'm passing something. Continue. See dot data, you got it over here. Understood? So whatever the data you passed from your child component, you are able to receive that into your parent component. Understood?
Yes.
So when you emit the output along with that round bracket, you can pass any data, whatever you need from child component back to the parent component.
It can be any type of data,
Yeah, it can be anything, array, object, anything you can pass.
even observable.
Why you will pass observable now? And what you are going to do and how you will subscribe to that, right? If you pass an observable data, here you are getting the observable. So we
Yes.
can do that, but no real-time scenario will be like that. Okay. Then here you have to,
Mhm.
instead of writing like this, you have to subscribe to that. What you are going to achieve by writing like this, right? Okay. So from your reusable component, you can send the data along with the output like this. While emitting, you can pass the data with it. And in the parent component, to catch that, you have to write dollar event over here and a function which should have a parameter here. You will get the data. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Clear all? So this is your input and output. Input is used to send data from parent component to child component. And from child component, if you want to send some event or some data, you will use output. Clear all?
Again,
Yes.
We are going to see so many examples, but in the project we will see. Okay. Now I'm
So I have
start.
a small question from
Wait, it is regarding this or something else?
regarding this.
Tell me quickly.
But with different, if we compare with different concept, where we have to use this, like we can also do this concept by subject behavior subject, right? So
Yeah, we
where we
can
have
do
to,
same thing. We have same thing, whatever we are doing. Output, we are doing it over here. So we can do the same thing with subject and behavior subject also. From here, you will emit it, you will use the next method to emit the subject, and here you will subscribe. Okay.
so is there any specific scenario where we have to
No,
use input output?
in reusable component, we don't use behavior subject first of all to send the data. We use output only.
Okay,
Okay. Why to create subject? No, because you can emit the data by using output. We don't create the subject over here.
okay, got it.
Fine. Now, so From Angular 17, we got new thing that is signal. Okay. So let's complete signal today. Ng generate component signal. Let's create a route of it. Anyone know React? Anyone knows React? No one knows?
Not
Basic.
totally understanding, sir, but basic like in React also we need to create a component and
Hmm. So
uh,
there also we have use
state,
state, something
use
use
state.
state, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
similar to that, we have got signal over here. Okay. Now, now 17 only we got the signal, na?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
16,
7.
but stable
In
in
16 it
17.
was there, but in a beta version. So it was stable in 17 only, I think. Like standalone component was also there in 16, but it got stable in 17,
Yes, yes.
right?
From 17 signal and standalone component.
No, but in 16 also we had it, but it was in beta version testing mode.
Okay.
17 it was stable, but you can go with 17 only. Fine. Now, uh, just like how you create a variable, okay? When we create a variable, let's say first name, data type string, and some value. What you will call this? Either a variable, either a property, or a state also. Okay. Someone will call this as a property, someone will call it as a variable, or someone will call it as a state also, because first name is something which will have this value, and after that we can change this value also, means a state where we can change the value of that state also. Okay, three synonyms are there: variable, property, or state. So this is how you create a normal variable in your component. An alternative to this, we have got signal. Okay, now I'm not going into detail like why do we need signal. After some almost it is completed now, then in interview I will explain when we saw that change detection and everything. Because if I explain everything in over here now while explaining, everyone will get confused. Okay, so don't go into that. Just focus on whatever I'm going to explain now. So how do you create
I
a
will
variable?
explain.
Huh?
I will explain one line. Like signal is the native. मतलब it is native to Angular.
Hmm.
ये खुद का है मतलब Angular का.
Hmm.
मतलब हम ऑब्जर्वर को सब ऑब्जर्वर का अल्टरनेट है. हम उसको रिप्लेस कर रहे हैं ऑब्जर्वर को, क्योंकि वो RxJS का था ना, थर्ड पार्टी लाइब्रेरी है. और सिग्नल आपका नेटिव है एंगुलर का खुद का.
ठीक है. नहीं
और
मैं
और तीसरा पॉइंट जोनलेस है, मतलब कि चेंज
वही
जोनलेस.
वही अभिषेक मैं एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए बोल रहा था, बाकी लोगों को नहीं समझेगा सिग्नल पहली बार डेफिनेशन. ओके. और तुमने जो बताया वो थेरोटिकल बहुत करेक्ट है, लेकिन ऐसा अगर बोलेंगे ना रिप्लेस, इट डजंट रिप्लेस. ओके, आई विल टेल यू हाउ नाउ. So in Angular, how do you create a variable? So this is how you create a variable. Okay. Now data type can be anything, but this is the way how you create a variable, or how do you create a property to store data into your component. Now there is an alternate way to this. So that is by using signal. Okay. Now how do you create a signal? Signal is also like kind of a variable in which what you can store some data. Okay. But apart from that, the way you access the value from signal and the way you change the signal is completely different. Okay. Apart from the syntax, there are so many advantages also that we will see after some day. But for now, how do you create a signal? How do you read a signal? How do you update a signal? Just like how what we do, what we did with the variable that we are going to see. Okay. Let's say course name. This is my, if I don't write anything, for now it is your variable. But now in this variable, what I'm storing? Signal type of data. See, signal, we got it import over here. Okay. Then round bracket. What it needs? What it needs over
Initial
there?
value.
Initial value.
Value.
So in this, what is the initial value?
Chetan.
Right? Just like that. Here we used to create a variable and we used to initialize some value, right? So in signal, your variable name equal to signal, and here you can provide the value. Understood? So this is your normal variable and this is your signal. This is where you initialize value. This is where you initialize the signal value. Clear? Or
Yes.
even better, now consider like this. This is your normal variable. A replica of that in signal is this. Okay. Now, course fee. Here I can specify the data type and then I can pass the value. Same thing like that. Course fee is equal to signal. And here also I can specify the data type. Number and then your initialization value. Okay. See, I'm going properly. Okay. This is your normal variable declaration where we didn't provide the data type. This is your signal where you didn't provide the data type. Okay. This is your normal variable where we have provided the data type. Same thing like that in signal also we can provide the data type like this. Understood? This is how you create a signal. Your variable equal to, you don't provide colon over here, directly equal. In this variable, what you are storing? Signal you are storing. You are making this variable signal. So equal to signal and whatever the initial value you need to give. You can provide a proper data type also. Okay. Now in HTML, how do you access a normal variable interpolation? Directly your variable name. Right. Same thing in case of signal. Interpolation. Now signal, when you have to access a signal, signal you will access as a method, not as a property. See, if I provide like here directly, it will show some warning. What's the warning? Course name is a function. What it is saying? Course name is a function, but course name is not a function. It's a simple variable, right? Getting it? What it is saying? Course name is a function, but in .ts you can see course name is not a function. It's a normal variable, but in that we have stored a signal. So signal we can access like a method. See, like this. Whenever you need to read a value from a signal, you call that signal as a method like this. Okay. See now. Angular is coming over here. Understood? This is how you access a normal variable interpolation. And whenever you have to access a signal, you access it signal like a method. Okay. This is in HTML. Now let's talk about in .ts. So constructor round bracket. Let's say you want to change the normal variable. This dot first name is equal to Rahul. Okay. Let's say you want to access the signal value. Wait, let me just first do the access thing. Name is equal to this. This is how you access the normal variable value in .ts. Let's say you want to access a signal value. So constant signal val is equal to this dot, what is it? Course name as a method. Understood? Same in HTML also and same in .ts also. Whenever you have to access a signal, you will access that signal as a method, not a normal variable. Clear? This is your signal. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Understood? So you create
Hello.
yeah.
Sir, we are using the same thing like first name, we can display the first name. And signal value, we can, means course name, we can display the course name. So same thing we are display
Right, same thing. No?
So why
Yeah, that's what I said now. For now, just understand how do you create an update, because this signal is like with dependency injection. How change dependency injection, chain detection, how works now, there it will come in the history. I will tell you that properly.
Okay,
But
okay,
for now,
okay.
just understand what I'm telling. So this is how you normal variable you create, and this is how you create a signal. This is how you create a normal variable with data type. This is how you create a signal with the data type. Okay. Now, can I store array or object over here in the signal? Can I store?
Yes.
Right? We can store just like in a normal variable, whatever you can do with normal variable, everything you can do with signal also. Okay. Whatever you used to do with normal variable, same thing you can do with your signal also. You can store array, object, anything you can store. Okay. Now, this is how you read the signal value as a method. Let's say you want to change the value. So this dot, what is that? Course fee dot set method is there. You cannot directly use equal to on the signal. You have to make a use of set method and you have to pass a new value over here. 5,000. Okay. This is how you change the signal value. Now let's add this in a set time mode. And after 6 seconds, I'm going to change this course value. Okay. Let's print this course fee also. Okay. So see now, when I'm initializing the signal, I have the value 2222, and after in constructor after 6 seconds, I'm changing the signal value. Fine. By default is 2222. After 6 seconds, my constructor set timeout will execute and signal value will get changed. See, clear? So how do you create a signal? Like this. How do you access a signal as a method? How do you change the signal value? By using set method. Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now the same thing you can call it on a button click also. This is how you change the signal value by using set method. Anyone having any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now,
सर ये सेकंड
hmm,
सर ये सेकंड को हम 6000 क्यों लिखते हैं?
it's in millisecond, I think. 1000 is 1 millisecond. Sorry, 1 second means set timeout required value in millisecond. So 1000 millisecond is like 1 second.
Oh,
Okay. So if you type 6 only, so it's like 6 millisecond. So within very quick it will be. Okay.
okay. Thanks.
Now, this set method you will use in case of primitive data type like string, number, boolean, date. But if it is non-primitive, means in case of array and object, okay, there is another way also. Let's say city list is equal to signal. We have string array of data, Pune. It is giving error. Sorry, it's an array now. Okay. So see, in city list, what type of data I'm storing? String array. So I have initialized the string array also like that. Okay. By default, I'm assigning Pune and the Nagpur. Let's say after some time you need to change the city list and you need to add new property, new element into this city array. Okay. So see it properly. Okay. So it is very easy. Whenever you have to change the existing signal value with completely new value, you will use set method. Okay. Let's add a button. Add Mumbai. Now on click of this button, what I need to do on this signal, on this city list, I have to add a city Mumbai over here. Okay. Click add Mumbai. Let's create this function. Now in city list, we have to add a new city that is Mumbai. So this dot city list dot, if I use the set method, see what happens. I cannot directly pass this also. Why we cannot pass string value over here? It is giving us error,
It's an array, right?
right? The data type of this signal is array. So we cannot pass a single value, no? It will expect array only. Okay. If I pass like this, it will accept. But what set method, what it does now, it will change the existing value and it will replace
Remove.
with the new.
Mm.
Means this element will get removed and new value will be this. See now. City list as a method I'm printing. Okay. By default, you can see Pune Nagpur is there. Once I click on it, that array old value got replaced with the new value, whatever we passed. Understood? Huh. If you add this also same again over here, then it will be fine because this is your old value and new value. You are again adding same value, but with the new value. Now it will look fine like you are adding something new property, but it is like you are changing the whole signal value. Understood? The first and the second scenario. Whenever you use the set method, so set method, what it does, it will change the old value and it will replace with the new value. Clear? See, directly set the signal with the new value. Understood?
Yes. But how to append the values to an
Yeah.
array then?
Right. So in array and object, what we need to do, we need to preserve the old value, means old value should be like that. And within the old value, you need to add something new. Correct? In case of array and object, whenever you add some element, remove element, old value should be like that. And with considering old value, you do some operation. Right? So that's
Yes.
why instead of set, we have a update method. So this dot city list dot update method is there. Okay, let's see what this says. Update the value of the signal based on its current value. Getting it? When you use update, it will allow you to get the access of current value, and with that current value you can do something. Okay. Now the syntax is little bit different. If you know the spread operator, you will understand it. Okay. Old value, arrow operator, it's an dot 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 arena square bracket dot 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 old value and new value Mumbai. Okay. So what is this? What is this?
Spread.
Array.
Old value is our old
What?
city, and Mumbai we need to add in this.
No. I'm asking. Let's say in old value. Okay, forget it. Constant city 1 is equal to Pune. City 2 Nagpur. Okay. And if I want to combine both of these, I have two arrays, city 1 and city 2. I need to combine both of the element over here. How you will do it?
City
Dot
dot
spread
dot
operator.
city one
Right.
spread operator. Yeah.
Spread operator city 1,
City
comma,
one.
spread
Comma
operator
city
city
2.
2.
Yes.
Okay. So spread operator we use to combine the elements or create a new array, right?
Con-
Similar like that over here. So in old value, you get the existing value of the city list. And you are adding a new property over here. So it will update the city value with old value and this new value. You see now. Currently it is Pune Nagpur. On click of add Mumbai. See, you got the Mumbai.
This method will not work.
Understood? So whenever
Sir,
Hmm.
with the help of set, it was not persisting the old value,
old
right?
value, but with the use of update, we can use the old value and do some operation with it and update the new value.
Okay, okay,
Okay, it lets you access the old value, current value, not the old value, current value.
okay.
This is what you do. Okay. So in case of primitive data type, string, number, boolean, you can do like that by directly using the set method, because set method, what it does, it will replace the old value with the new value, whatever you pass. So with array and object also you can use the set, but it won't consider the existing value. It will just override that. Understood?
You can use push method over here.
No. Okay, this is the syntax we have to use. Now just like this, let's say you have an object. So student obj is equal to signal. I'm going with any, okay? Bracket, curly bracket, name, empty, city, full. Okay. So see, we have created one more variable. Inside that we have made it a signal. And while initializing signal, I have two properties, name and the city. Let's try to print it also with our async pipe. Sorry, JSON pipe. We need to print the object. So JSON pipe. Student object as a method. Oh, async pipe we didn't add. JSON pipe. Okay. So see, whatever the initial value you stored in your signal, that is getting printed over here. Let's say on click of add Mumbai, you want to add name property also over here. Okay. Now I'm not creating one more function. In the same function, we will do it. So after this dot your student object dot update round bracket previous val. There it was array, so we use square bracket. Here it is object, so we will use object. Previous val. Something is missing. Round bracket we need. Yeah, round bracket. Okay. Here you can directly use, in case of array, you can directly use the square bracket, but in case of object, first you need the round bracket. Inside that, your curly bracket. Okay. Now from this object, which property you need to change? Name property. So name colon new value. Ankit, I'm passing. Okay. Something is wrong. Round bracket is over here. This is round bracket over here. One more round bracket. No.
Close one more round bracket, right?
Yeah. Okay. So see now. No, still it is giving error. Why it is giving error? This completed over here. This completed over here. This completed over here.
You removed the curly brace.
Where?
Mumbai curly brace.
Semicolon.
No.
Add a curly brace.
Where?
Method curly brace. Add Mumbai method.
Okay. I remove that. Fine. So by default, we have empty value. Once I click on it, see. Understood? But let's say you want to completely change your existing value. You don't want to consider old value. So this dot student object dot set method also you can use. Now you will pass the completely new object. Getting it? Poonam. Why it is giving error now? 2 times curly bracket. Okay. State mh like this. And this I will add it in a set timeout so we can see both things happening. After 4 seconds, I will use the set method. So on click of button, first I'm using the update method. I'm just changing the name. Then I'm completely changing the existing value and replacing with the new object. Okay. See it properly. On click of add Mumbai, just Ankit is there. After 4 seconds, complete object will get changed. Got it? So update method and set method you can use everywhere, right? But if you want to consider the existing value and then do some operation with it, you will use update method. Clear? Now this is similar to use state in React. So that's what I said. If you understand Angular now, React is not that much hard. Same kind of syntax you get to say in React in case of use state hook. Okay. Here we create normal variable. There every time if you have to create variable in React now, you will create use state only. So similar to this, what we do with signal. Understood? So this is your signal. Okay,
So,
this
so
is
real time where we use signal, Chetan, in a project.
nor
Okay.
from, let's say if your project is 17 plus now, instead of creating normal variable, you should use signal only. Not, we don't need any scenario. Just I said now, just like how you create a variable, just like that you create a signal. Okay.
But why, like, what makes the
Yeah,
difference with
I will tell you that. We need to see that chain detection first, then you will understand this. For now, just understand, just like how you create a normal variable, just like that you can do the same thing with signal also. There is a very big change because of this. How Angular detect the changes, right? When you create, when you change the variable value, you get reflect a new value, right? Everything happens because of change detection. So, and chain detection happen because of zone.js. In Angular, they use a third-party library that is zone.js. Because of that, chain detection happen. So if you use the signal, signal doesn't need that chain zone.js. So they are going to remove zone.js in upcoming version. Okay. So signal don't need zone.js to detect the changes. Once you change the signal value, that zone.js for the chain detection. That's the behind. Okay. Clear everyone? So in case of primitive value, you will use the set method. But in case of object and array, if you want to retain the old value and with old value, considering old value, you need to do something, you will use update. If you don't want to consider old value and directly you want to change, you will use set method. Clear?
yes?
Yes, sir.
Actually working and your project is already upgraded to 70s plus now. So instead of normal variable now, start using signal. Get friendly with signal. Because in upcoming version, signal is going to play. As I said yesterday, when we say form, signal based form is also there is a probability that signal based form is also coming. Then we will have template, reactive and signal based form. Okay. So have a hands-on signal also.
So can we say the only difference is, find the change reduction.
Yeah, just for the chain detection, it is there.
So in that case, wherever we need a change detected variable, that time we can use signals, right? Otherwise, we can use.
No, not like that. Let's say you disable the chain detection on this component. How you disable the chain detection?
On push.
Right? Chain detection
strategy.
change on push, right? You disable
Okay.
your chain detection. So even if you disable the chain detection, if the signal value will get changed, UI will trigger. You don't need that chain detection reference dot detect changes.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a major thing. See how Angular work. The chain detection, however it is happening, it is because of chain zone.js, and zone.js is somewhere what do we say, degrading the performance because it is also taking some time. Zone dot change detection is happening in Angular because of zone.js. Zone.js is a third party library which they are using in Angular to manage this chain detection, but it is degrading the performance of Angular. So with the use of signal, they don't need zone.js. Getting it? So it will improve Angular performance. Clear? Again, the practical implementation we will see, but for now, just have a background. Those who are compatible or already working. Those who are new, you don't want to worry about that. Just for now, understand how you create a signal, how you update a signal. That's it. That is pretty enough.
Sir, we use the on push strategy in chain detection. So in normal variable,
If the
very
normal
value
variable
is
value change now, it won't display. But
yes,
if you change the signal value,
signal
it will display the latest
display.
value.
Okay, so
Okay.
these are the
Yes.
major, right? Yeah,
Right.
okay. Got it.
Fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine then. Let's connect tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you all.